At 1:19 a.m., a calm voice crackles through the radio. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Seconds later, a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people vanishes, without a distress call, without debris, without explanation. 10 years later, no one knows exactly where Flight 370 went or why. This is the story of the disappearance that still haunts the world. On March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 was scheduled to fly a routine overnight route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. It should have been just another quiet flight across Southeast Asia. Instead, it became aviation's greatest mystery. Flight 370 took off at 12:41 a.m., carrying 227 passengers from 14 different countries and 12 crew members. The aircraft was a Boeing 777, one of the most reliable long-haul planes in the world. Weather conditions were normal. The pilots were experienced. Nothing suggested trouble. For the first 38 minutes, everything went exactly as planned. As the plane approached Vietnamese airspace, air traffic control instructed the pilots to contact the next control center. The captain responded calmly, "Good night, Malaysian 370. Those were the last confirmed words ever heard from the aircraft. Moments later, Flight 370 disappeared from civilian radar. Military radar later revealed something shocking. Instead of continuing toward Beijing, the plane turned sharply west, crossing back over Malaysia and heading toward the open Indian Ocean. This was not an accident. The maneuver was precise, suggesting manual control. Even more disturbing, the plane continued flying for hours. When Flight 370 failed to arrive in Beijing, families began calling. Airports went into lockdown. Within hours, an international search was launched, one of the largest in aviation history. Oceans were scanned. Satellites were analyzed. Countries across the world joined the effort. But there was a problem. There was nothing to find. No Mayday call. No emergency signal. No confirmed crash site. How does a modern jetliner simply vanish in the age of satellites and GPS? Was it mechanical failure? Human interference? Or something no one had considered before? As days turned into weeks, investigators uncovered clues that only deepened the mystery. Disabled systems, strange satellite pings, and a final path into one of the most remote places on Earth. A modern jetliner turns off course. Its communication systems go silent. And somehow, it keeps flying for hours into the darkness. What investigators discovered next would turn a disappearance into a global obsession. Days after MH370 vanished, investigators revealed a crucial clue. Even though the plane stopped communicating normally, it was still silently pinging a satellite every hour. These automated signals, called handshakes, didn't reveal the plane's exact location, but they did confirm something shocking. Flight 370 was still airborne for nearly 7 hours after disappearing from radar. That meant one thing. The plane did not crash shortly after vanishing. It flew on deliberately or not. By analyzing the timing of those satellite pings, experts mapped out two possible paths: a northern route towards Central Asia, a southern route deep into the Indian Ocean. Further analysis eliminated the northern path. The data pointed south, toward one of the most remote stretches of ocean on Earth, thousands of kilometers from land. If the plane went down there, it would explain why nothing had been found. Investigators then uncovered another disturbing detail. Key communication systems on board MH370 were manually turned off, one by one, in a specific order. This was not consistent with a sudden mechanical failure. Someone, or something, was interacting with the aircraft. That revelation shifted the investigation for what happened. 2. Who was in control? As official answers stalled, theories exploded across the world. Some believed it was pilot involvement. Others suggested hijacking, cyber interference, or an onboard emergency no one survived to report. Then there were the more extreme ideas: government cover-ups, secret landings, even impossible explanations fueled by frustration and grief. With no wreckage and no black box, Every theory felt both possible and impossible at the same time. Over a year later, pieces of aircraft debris began washing up on shores thousands of kilometers apart: Africa, Madagascar, and nearby islands. Several pieces were confirmed to belong to MH370. But even with debris, the most important questions remained unanswered. Where did the plane go down? What happened in its final moments? And why hasn't the main wreckage ever been found? A decade later, searches have stopped, families are still waiting, and new theories continue to emerge. 10 years later, the plane has never been found. No black box, no final message, only questions that refuse to disappear. So what really happened to Flight 370? Between 2014 and 2018, international teams scanned more than 120,000 square kilometers of the southern Indian Ocean. Underwater drones searched depths deeper than Mount Everest is tall. It became the most expensive search in aviation history. And yet, nothing. No fuselage, no cockpit voice recorder, no flight data recorder. In 2018, officials made a devastating announcement. The search was suspended. For the families, it felt like the world had given up. Among all explanations, one theory remains the most widely accepted by aviation experts. The aircraft was deliberately diverted and flown until it ran out of fuel. Satellite data suggests the plane flew south for hours, then entered a final uncontrolled descent into the ocean. But this raises an unbearable question. Who was in control and why? Investigators found no clear motive, no warning signs, no definitive proof, only silence. Flight 370 didn't just vanish. It exposed a terrifying truth. In 2014, it was still possible for a large commercial jet to disappear without being tracked in real time. Since then, aviation rules have changed. Aircraft tracking has improved. Emergency systems are stronger. But these changes came at a cost: 239 lives whose final moments remain unknown. For the families, closure never came. No graves to visit. No final answers. Just birthdays missed. Empty chairs. And a decade of wondering what their loved ones felt in those final hours, if they knew at all. Flight 370 is more than a mystery. It's a reminder of how much we still don't understand about the skies above us and the people who travel through them, until the wreckage is found, until the black boxes speak. The disappearance of MH370 remains the greatest unsolved mystery in aviation history. If this story moved you, consider subscribing for more real-world mysteries explained in depth. And ask yourself one final question. Somewhere beneath the Indian Ocean, is the truth still waiting to be found? If you enjoy content about mysteries, secrets, and the hidden truths of our world, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating discoveries.